Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're going to be doing the second half of my What Sold, which will be for the weekend of April 10th through the 12th, Friday through Sunday. I had a good day. So I've got quite a few, relatively nice sales during that time period. A lot of non-eBays. Thank goodness. Robert needs to get hot to trot on getting his stuff listed because his sales have just really, I don't think, you're not cross-listing as much as you should, right?
No, and I'm not listing very much because I'm busy doing other stuff. So
yeah, he's got a honey-do list.
I'm getting like one a day.
Yeah. I'm not much better. I'm doing about 5 a day. So, some days I'm at that, I'm selling more than the 5 I'm listing. So that's a good thing. We're getting ready to go on vacation and stuff's happening. And we had a crisis this past weekend and I've not been feeling well. So it's just kind of a culmination of a whole lot of stuff. But that's the good thing about that's the good and the bad about being self-employed. When you don't feel well or you've got things going on, you don't have to work. But then, if you don't work, there's other consequences to that. So
you can't say crisis and then not explain.
Yeah. Y'all, I've talked about it in my live, I think, before. But my son was in a car accident, a really bad car accident 8 years ago, and had a severe traumatic brain injury. But he's my walking miracle boy because he bounced back. He just has done very well. He's in college, working, all of that stuff. He's truly a walking miracle. But
I gotta say this, if it weren't for the dent in the side of his skull,
you'd never know.
You really wouldn't know.
Yeah, he had a craniotomy, so it just kind of misshapes heads when it does that. But otherwise, he is better. His attitude and his personality, everything came back, really good. Just really good.
All those years when we were raising him and he was being a pain in the butt. And I said, I just need to knock some sense into him. Maybe I just should have.
Yeah, but Saturday night, it's just a whole level of, miracles that happened that night. But normally he stays with his dad. And normally he shuts his bedroom. He had been sick all day, just stomach ache, headache, just not feeling right, which should have been a sign. But he fell asleep with his door open. And at midnight, his dad just happened to look and Lance was having a grand mal seizure. And he called paramedics, called me. I actually beat him to the hospital, the ambulance. But yeah, it was bad. So he was in the hospital a couple of days and they're trying out a seizure medication on him right now. But, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that there's, not going to be any more, that this isn't the start of that. But for 8 years, he's done so well. Your mind goes in the fact that it could have been so much worse. He was given a 10% chance of living a normal life. Based on his injuries.
I thought it was 5, but anyway.
No, it was it was a 10% chance that he was going to survive the accident, and then it was a negligible amount that he was actually going to return to a normal life, and he did. It was just miracles.
I remember at the scene of the accident because it was like a mile down the road.
Of course. A mile from home, right? They say that. I
told the deputy, as I'm his stepdad, I said, how is he? And he's just like, mm-mm.
If you're a believer, I'm telling you, other than the initial getting to the hospital and realizing how bad the situation was, after that point, I felt carried. I didn't worry. I felt carried. I've told this story so many times, I just knew. And we had thousands and thousands of people praying for him. And we got our miracle. But this weekend was a little bit of a setback, but he's back on track. He's going to try to get back in classes tomorrow. He's already, going back to work after that. So, yeah. So that's been our last couple of days. But let me get on to showing you some of the things that sold for us last weekend. First, on Mercari, I had 3 sales. Play School Glowworm from 1998. I pick up most of them. Maybe not the newer ones, the contemporary ones. If I could get a lot of them, maybe. But this one was from 98, and it sold on Mercari for $8.
Now, when you say get a lot of them, you mean enough to make a lot. You're not talking
2
like
or 3 of them.
You're not talking like 10 or 15 or anything.
Yeah.
You're not talking I'm going to get a lot of them. I'm going to get a lot.
I like lots of 3. On lower dollar stuff, that's kind of what I'm focusing on. And lower dollar meaning, my bread and butter, so that I can be listing stuff for, $19.95, $24.95, $29.95, that type of stuff. But I've been doing lots of 3. So, all right. And then I sold this Avon Gallery Badger plush. Pretty sure I picked this up at a high school sale that was doing a benefit for, I think, the band. I think I paid $1 each for the plush I picked up that day. I found a lot of interesting stuff. This one sold for $9.72. And then this Flopsies Aurora A&A Sahara Camel, $19.95. Funny thing is, just a reminder, especially for Mercari, if you're listing a camel, don't do 1 hump, 2 hump. I don't like that word, so just remove it.
Why not?
I don't know. They do not like that word. You will get your listing taken down.
For putting hump in there?
Putting hump in there. I don't know.
Oh, is it because of that commercial where the camel goes around and says it's hump day, Mike?
I don't know.
Is they consider that like is that a trademark for something?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I just know take the word out when you're getting it onto Mercari. All right. And then for Poshmark, I had 2 bundle sales, which is really nice. That is one of the things I learned. You need to go into your offers or into your, what is the word? I'm going to have to look it up because I just figured this out. Because I think one of these was because I did that. Go into Poshmark. Go into your bundles. And then it shows you people who have put various things into their bundles. And I sent out a couple of offers that day. And one of the people accepted it. So that was nice. But I think that's the last lot. First sold were these General Mills Breakfast Pals plush lot of 5. These were in that high bid estate sale that I won at the first year that we started doing videos. Oh, that reminds me. We just celebrated our 5 years on YouTube.
When you were saying that what is the word? The sale that we went to, the auction, the online
the high
auction.
bid estate sale.
High bid estate sale. My brain. Anyway, that would have been, I was going to say, hey, that would have been 5 years ago next month because we did that auction like the month after we started this.
That was such an amazing. Go back to those videos at the beginning because it was a lot of very interesting stuff. But like I said, I'm doing lots, so I had pulled all of them and put them in a lot. Sold it on Poshmark for $20.
And if you happen to go back to those old videos, please don't judge us based on them.
Yeah, no. We've changed a lot since back then. And he wasn't as active in the beginning, which some people might say that was a good time.
I know there are some that would definitely say that was a good time.
But no, I enjoy the company on here. So, and he catches a lot of my mistakes. Not all of them, but most of them. All right. And then this Cloud Island Bunny Rabbit Lovey. I just picked this up. I want to say at either a yard sale or an estate sale. I want to say I paid $3 maybe for it. And it sold very quickly on Poshmark for $30. This Fisher-Price Little People camper. I picked this up at the Goodwill bins in St. Louis. It was one of the last things I think that was in the bags. And it sold on Poshmark for $22. And these Tom's Wedge boots sold for $9. They've been listed forever. I was glad to see them leave. I will not buy Tom's again. I ended up buying several at some point, and I think this might be the first set that sold. And then I sold a bundle of 2 brass items. This person bought this hand bell. The bundle was bundle of 2 for $15. They bought this bell and this other bell. So they paid $15 for the 2. They were little bells, so it was a very light package. And then this person, this was the offer that I sent out. The bundle of 3, they paid me $55 for them. All of these were listings that had been listed for a really long time. I just kind of went through my brain and thought, okay, it's worth, I think it was like worth $75 or something like that. And if I put it on sale on eBay, and then I'd send 10% offers, and then because they're old, they probably had 10% promoted. I sent them an offer of $55 and they accepted it. So they got this whimsical boy figurine on a dragon, this little scarf iridescent clip, and this women's jacket. Just hodgepodge of different types of items, but they gave me $55 for the 3. And then on Etsy, I only sold 3 things that weekend, but they were all really nice sales.
If y'all are liking this content, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and drop a comment down below. And if you're one of those people sticking around that preferred it when I didn't talk, make sure you leave me some hate mail down below.
All right, and then for these 3, it is showing sale prices, but they actually sold at full price. I don't know why, and I can't get the red marker to work, so I always check just to make sure. I'm pretty sure it's on sale now, but I think I went like 2 weeks before I remembered to put it on sale. But these are Play School Definitely Dinosaur and 2 cavemen. Lot of 5, and they sold for $39.95. And this also was $39.95. This was a Playmobil pianist Victorian mansion. It was actually missing the piano, but I still sold this lot for $39.95. And then this Garanimals blue puppy dog. This is one of the ones that sells very well. There's like a white lamb and it's okay, and I think there's another one that's okay, but this is the one that sells pretty well, and plus the fact that it still had its paper tag helped. But it ended up selling for $49.95. And then eBay. I had just put this doll with the little deer. They're both taggies. Make sure if you're listing stuff with the word taggies that they are actually branded taggies. But I had just added this doll to the lot, and it sold for $10. I was just ready to make it gone, so I was glad. All right, Aurora Teddy Pets Siamese Cat sold for $13.45. Carter's Child of Mine Duck Plush. This is one of those instances. I got a lowball offer on it comparative to what I had it listed for. But I went back. You know, it's always the thing to do is go back and check what comps are. This has actually been listed several years. So I went and checked, and $10.50 was reasonable. So I went ahead and accepted it. All right, this was a very quick sale. Just sometimes you just don't know. But I've done really well with the Highland cows. This one was by Goffa, not a brand I pick up very often, but because of what it was, the theme, I went ahead and grabbed it at the bins. It sold very quickly, $17.95. Hallmark Giraffe Mom and Baby Animated Plush sold for $12. Disney Duffy Bear. This was from the bins in St. Louis. It's been listed since January, and it sold for its full price, $29.95. Not that the hidden Mickey bears to be looking for are the lavender one and the blue one. Those are the pre-Duffies. They don't have the Duffy tag on the side of their body. But yeah, this was just a regular Duffy bear dressed up. I picked these up at a yard sale. It's been probably 2 years. I want to say I paid $1 each. There were actually 3 different ones, and the other one was a different design. And I'm pretty sure I already sold it. But this was an enamel floral canister and metal box set, and I ended up taking an offer of $32 for it. Kid Robot Spyro the Dragon plush sold for $10. Gans Heritage Collection Bichon Frise dog. Somebody will end up probably correcting me. It sold for $15. Again, it had been listed probably 2 years. Another brass. This was the weekend of selling brass. This was a little rabbit figure, hollow, 2-inch, sold for full price $9.95. Designs by the Needle. Pretty sure I got this from my friend Shannon when I was down there visiting her. These 2 ended up selling for $14. Cute bears. I love the bears, especially the vintage. This one had been listed more than 3 years, probably way more than 3 years. Ended up selling on the sale price of $8.96, but it was by MTY International. Build-A-Bear shirts and shorts set sold for $12. I have so much Build-A-Bear. I decided this weekend I sourced, I think, a vintage Dalmatian dog. Not worth a whole lot, but I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I've got a lot of Build-A-Bear outfits and shoes that I haven't listed. I'm just going to start dressing them. And if they're, bread and butter plush, put an outfit with them and try to sell them for like $19.95. So if you've got some that have sat around for a while and they're just not moving, if you've got an outfit, include it with it, and hopefully you will be able to sell it. Walmart tan rabbit with the blue gingham ears, bows, paws, sold for $17.95. Ertl Shining Time Godred, the train die cast. We picked this up at a church sale. We got there like 10 minutes early and people were already walking out with just totes and totes of stuff. I did find a couple of Thomas items there that day, but yeah, a lot of it was gone and we were early. But I ended up selling this train for $17.95. I think I just was working on a video today where I showed the haul. I didn't realize I sold it already, but this was a Douglas Red Fox plush, sold immediately for $14.95. Walgreens. I pick up a lot of Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, any of those like specialty store, not specialty, like pharmacy type stores. Sometimes, they release a plush, it's exclusive to them, and then it doesn't, it's not repeated. It might be repeated a little bit differently, but they're almost always never the same. This one was from 2019, and I sold it for $13.45. Just cute little puffer. All right, last 2 are my nicer sales for the weekend. First was this Pretend Play pizza set. I couldn't find any markings on it, but it just seemed like really nice quality. I think when I Google Lensed it, that's where I came up with my price, something that looked comparable. And it took about, let's say, 8 months, and it ended up selling on an offer for $40. And my best sell, and a surprising sell, was this Briarfest horse plush from 2017. I pick up a lot of the Briars, the plush, But a lot of times they're just bread and butter. I was very, very surprised at this one. It ended up selling for $59.95. And then Robert, you want to talk about this one?
All right, y'all. The first rule of Dollar Sale Club is we don't talk about Dollar Sale Club. So, no, there will be... Well, there was a day.
There was a day.
We were in Dayton, and it was, day 2 of... I don't sleep well the night before we go on a long drive because I worry about oversleeping and get everything done. So I don't sleep well. So that was, Tuesday night? Mm-hmm. So Wednesday night...
It was an awful hotel.
After a long drive, it was just hideously long. It was a long drive, long day sourcing, horrible hotel, horrible bed, people riding a horse in their room above us. I swear there was a pony up there, y'all. And then this was actually the next day.
The next morning before
So after
we were
2
leaving.
nights of doing this, right? Of sleeping in the bed with the pony running around upstairs at 3 a.m. and the concrete bed with the thin sheet and basically the pillow was like
this.
Yes. I tried to list in the morning when I had blurry eyes, and I messed up the price.
He messed up and it sold very quickly. But these were some Levi's 501 button fly women's shorts, and they sold for $1. I think I looked, after all was said and done, we lost, I want to say 27 cents on this order.
Not counting what we paid for it.
Yeah. Yeah, not counting cost
Not counting my time that I spent working on it, and not counting the packaging.
Anybody else made a dumb... I've done this intentionally, though. Well, not intentionally. I listed something. It was supposed to be an auction starting at $9.95, and I accidentally listed it for $9.95, and it sold instantly. It was like $180 plush. I shipped it. That's what you do. You don't cancel it because you messed up. All right, and then Wrangler men's jeans sold for $10. And Lapogi women's maxi dress sold for $20.41.
All right, y'all stick around this long. We get to talk about crazy customer time. Rebel had one was it this past week? I think it was. I'm going to get it all wrong, so I'm going to let Rebel tell this story.
All right, so overnight, I got a message from somebody saying, if I buy this today, now, will you ship it tomorrow? And I want to say it was like a Sunday. So this would have been Monday morning. And I responded in the morning, yes, we'll be shipping our packages this morning. So several hours later, she sends me another message. If I buy this now, can you ship it? I said, well, I think we were doing the live. And I said, if you pay for it in the next hour, it'll go out with today's. Then she didn't buy it. Then in the afternoon, she goes, if I buy it now, and you go back out later today, would you be able to ship it? And I went, no. I wasn't going back out. And I wasn't going to ship it because, this has been 2 days now. And then I think, was it one more time?
The next day.
The next day. If I buy this, can it be shipped today? I said yes this morning. And then she never did buy it. If she had just bought it that night, and I would have said yes in the morning, it's going out this morning, this would have been a done deal. She still has not bought it. I'm assuming she went somewhere else or changed her mind and did something else. I don't know, but just the craziest buyers.
Here's a good solution. If you're in that position on Sunday night, buy the item and then send the seller a message and say, hey, I bought this. I need it shipped Monday. If you can't ship it Monday, just please go ahead and cancel the order. And let me know so that I'll figure out a different method for getting a gift for this baby shower. That would be the way to do it. That way the seller can just ship it instead of this whole back and forth.
Just I don't get it. All right, y'all. I got to do another haul video. Sitting back here and get some more stuff processed. Time to get to work. Bye.